My name is Sarah Michael, and I grew up as your typical church kid. Sunday school, VBS, all those other things. It was always a part of my life. I don't think there was ever a time I didn't know who Jesus was. And I truly came to know Jesus when I was about 14. The trouble is that after that, I really began to struggle with my mental health. I battled depression on and off. I have both generalized and social anxiety disorders. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was in college, and I had some lingering post-traumatic stress from being bullied as a child. It's pretty hard to see Jesus in the midst of all that. I came to my absolute breaking point during my freshman year of college. I was away from home for the first time. I was conflicted about my choice of school and my major, and on top of that, one of my best friends died suddenly. My depression brought me to such a point where I could not believe in God anymore. I didn't understand why so many things were happening and why I was so miserable if this good, just, and perfect God was really sovereign. So I decided that I was done with everything. I didn't really believe that God was out there and that He cared for me, and if He was, I didn't want any part of it. All I wanted was for Him to leave me alone and let me go about my business. The months I spent running away from God was the worst time in my life that I can remember. My grades slipped, I became reclusive and angry, and there came a point where I considered ending my own life. It didn't seem worth it to me anymore. But God pursued me, and He kept pursuing me. He never abandoned me, even when I did everything in my own power to avoid Him. He waited for me with open arms when I finally came to my senses and decided to return. But the story doesn't end there. I was still fighting the internal battles within my mind, and I didn't completely understand it. I was embarrassed and ashamed of who I was, because things so simple to other people were difficult for me. And I prayed to God that He would just make me normal, that He'd make me like everybody else, but nothing came of that. I finally realized that He wasn't waiting for me to attain some level of adequacy, that He would sit with me in my pain, whether I'm functioning normally or having a panic attack in the corner. I had one question, and it was a big one. Did God make me this way, and if so, why? Well, I found my answer in John 9, where Jesus meets this man who's been blind from birth. His disciples ask Him, okay, whose fault is this? Who sinned? He sinned, his parents sinned, what's going on here? And Jesus sets them straight and says, well, no, you're missing the point. Neither this man sinned, nor did his parents, but this happened so that the works of God would be displayed in him. If you take a look at my medical records, you're going to find a list of things that should hold me back. And this may be the hand that I've been dealt, but not the way that hand is played. I may have depression, I may have an anxiety disorder, I may have all of these things, but they do not have me. Christ has me. They do not define me. He defines me. And my identity in Him is the only thing I need. So I can be confident in who I am, exactly the way I am. Because if the works of God can be displayed in me, then this is all worth it. And you know what? I will be healed, whether that's here on earth or whether that's when I go to heaven, because He will wipe every tear and He will make all things new. There are voices in my head. Not the kind that make you clinically insane, no schizophrenic personality or alternate identity controlling me the way you see in the movies. See, I remain in command when a mutiny stirs from deep within, an uprising of the voices dying to bring me down. Whose are they anyway? Are they my own? Echoes of old wounds, or perhaps from Satan himself? Well, your guess is as good as mine. The voices are my oldest companions, with me as long as I've had conscious thought. Their sadistic, scheming ways have conditioned me, the presence of perverse comfort, a sickening Stockholm syndrome of lies and slander. You see, the voices don't like me much. They'd have me believe otherwise, that they have my best interests at heart, but no sane person would fall for it. What does that say about me then? The voices strike at my worth. They tell me that I'm nothing, that I'm dead weight, and that everybody else would be better off if I were somewhere else. They want me to believe that my efforts are in vain and it's time to give up. After all, I suffer through the pain and accept there are some things I just can't do. Their favorite weapon is fear, and they feed on my aversion to failure as if it were the worst possible fate to befall. Lies and slander. They paralyze me, trap me, pull me down like gravity in this mind-twisting depravity, and I have had enough. The trouble is that they know me too well. They twist my arm, make me buy what they sell, and I wish I could tell them to go to, well, you know, but I can't do that because I'm under their spell. So how do I fight back? It would be all too easy to surrender. surrender, to quit and say you win. I don't know what to do, don't know where to begin. The voices kick me when I'm down and I call myself defeated, dead inside and practically retreated. I'm done! But there's another voice, and this one tells me to get up. This voice is not like the others, no. This one speaks life over death, healing over pain, power over weakness, and it surges through my veins. I know this voice. This is my king, my protector, my God, the one who splits the sea, calms the storm, and moves the mountains, and his voice thunders, makes the others run and hide. When absolute truth is on my side, they stand no chance. Here in the light, they're stripped of their power, because the name of the Lord is the only strong tower, and I will arise from my darkest hour victorious!
My name is Sarah Michael, and this is my story. I'm a daughter of Christ, and he is the one who writes my story.